Today, let's explore a rather sensitive yet crucial topic in relationships. Here's how someone avoids forming attachment when having sex. Likely, each of us has experienced or witnessed relationships where one person consistently tends to avoid connection, particularly after moments of intimacy. This not only causes confusion and hurt for the other person, but also significantly impacts the happiness and sustainability of the relationship. So, why does this phenomenon occur? What are the deep-seated reasons that make a person want to avoid connection after having sex? And more importantly, how can we recognize, understand, and confront this situation in a healthy way? In this video, we will delve into this issue, from psychological analyses to real-world sharing. We will help you better understand the signs, causes, and consequences of avoiding attachment while providing helpful advice so you can build healthy and happy relationships. I'm Jim Rohn, a bonding expert. If you're new to my channel, welcome, and if you've returned, thank you for your support. Don't forget to like and share this video if you find it useful. And don't forget to... When it comes to intimacy, many people immediately think of sex. But in reality, intimacy is not limited to physical actions, but also includes many different forms of connection. For people with an avoidant attachment style, sex can be a path to attachment, or conversely, become a factor that makes them even more distant. So, what determines how they react? To better understand this issue, we need to consider the 5 main pillars of intimacy. Emotional, the ability to share thoughts, feelings, and vulnerabilities honestly and deeply. Intellectual, connection through deep discussions, healthy debates, and a shared mindset. Physical, affectionate gestures such as hugs, holding hands, gentle touches to show care and connection. Sexual, physical connection and intimate experiences through sexual intercourse. Romantic, sweet actions like sending loving messages, creating surprises, or spending quality time together. For people with an avoidant attachment style, sex is not always accompanied by connection. They may belong to one of the following 2 main trends. Group 1, starting from intellectual connection, then moving to sex. People in this group need a safe foundation mentally before opening up to physical intimacy. They like to discuss philosophies of life, share personal opinions, and build relationships based on intellectual harmony. After having a spiritual connection, they gradually feel more comfortable with sex, followed by emotional, physical, and finally romantic attachment. This explains why avoidants may take a long time to express romance, or easily feel overwhelmed when their partner demands affection too early. Group 2, using sex as a means of connection before moving to other aspects. Conversely, some avoidants cannot connect emotionally or intellectually from the start. For them, sex is the easiest way to maintain intimacy without having to open up emotionally. They can easily enter a physical relationship but find it difficult to express emotions or show care in other ways. Spiritual and emotional intimacy only comes after they have a solid sexual foundation. So why is there a difference in how avoidants approach intimacy? This difference is not simply personality, but stems from how they learn to deal with childhood trauma. Some avoidants seek safety in intellectual connection first. They need to make sure their partner is trustworthy before moving further. Others use sex as the only means of connection because it is the easiest way for them to feel close without having to open up. This is like a person's reaction to pain. Some people become cautious and control everything to avoid being hurt, while others seek intense experiences to fill the void inside. To better understand how avoidants react to sex, we need to explore the deep developments within their brains. Is sex really the key to helping them lower their defenses? Or is it just a temporary coping mechanism? First, let's learn about the 4 key neurochemicals released during sex. Oxytocin. This love hormone plays an important role in creating feelings of attachment, trust, and closeness. Oxytocin is produced when there is physical contact, such as hugging, kissing, or caressing. Dopamine, this neurotransmitter, is associated with the brain's pleasure center. Dopamine creates feelings of euphoria, satisfaction, and motivates us to seek positive experiences. Serotonin, this hormone plays a role in regulating mood, helping us feel relaxed, peaceful, and happy. Serotonin also contributes to feelings of social bonding and satisfaction in relationships. Endorphin. This natural painkiller has the effect of reducing stress, anxiety, and creating a feeling of elation and excitement. Endorphins also help us feel closer and more connected to our partner. For avoidants, the complexity lies in their tendency to avoid emotional intimacy. They may feel comfortable with sex, but find it difficult to share emotions, express vulnerability, or build relationships based on trust. When an avoidant has sex, can they open up more? The answer is not simple. Biologically, chemicals like oxytocin, dopamine, and endorphins released during intimacy can bring feelings of euphoria, satisfaction, and even temporary closeness with the other person. However, these momentary experiences are often not powerful enough to heal the deep psychological scars that have been imprinted in their minds. Avoidants, with their strong defensive barriers, may turn to sex as a way to satisfy their need for connection, but not necessarily to directly face their true emotions. Deep down, they still crave a genuine bond that transcends physical pleasure. However, the fear of being hurt, becoming dependent, or being abandoned always haunts them. So what can help them overcome these complex psychological barriers? How do they move from using sex as a way to avoid emotions to a tool to connect real emotions? This is a long journey that requires patience, understanding, and most importantly, a safe environment where they can truly open up. For them, sex can create a momentary connection without having to face deep inner hurt. They may feel more comfortable with physical harm through intimate contact, but are extremely afraid of opening up emotionally. This becomes even more complicated if they have experienced psychological trauma from childhood, especially when their personal boundaries have been violated, over-controlled, coerced, or subjected to physical and mental harm. When sex becomes a tool to avoid trauma instead of a means to connect, their relationships can become shallow, emotionally unfulfilling, and even lead to increasing distance from the other person. The impact of sexual trauma on avoidance is also extremely complex. If an avoidant has experienced sexual trauma, their reactions often fall into two completely opposite extremes. Some people become extremely avoidant of sex. They may feel anxious, fearful, or triggered by past pain when someone tries to approach them in this way. In some cases, they may even freeze completely in the face of an intimate situation. Conversely, others become overly permissive with sex. They may feel like they have no right to refuse or use sex as a means to escape feelings of emptiness, loneliness, or to soothe past pain. Their reaction depends on the degree of trauma, how they were raised, and how their brains learned to cope with those traumatic experiences. Because of this complexity, a common model cannot be applied to all avoidants. Each person has their own story, their own experiences, and no one reacts exactly the same way. The important thing is to help them realize that sex is not a tool to escape or hide emotions, but can be part of the healing journey. And to do that, they need proper support from themselves, from their partners, and sometimes from psychologists who can help them rebuild trust in true intimacy. First of all, gradual attachment is the key to safety. Avoidants need time to get used to closeness. The attachment process needs to happen slowly, step by step, without coercion or demanding too much. Instead of expecting them to open up immediately, give them space and time to feel safe. Be patient, gently break down the layers of defense, build trust, and show them that you are a trustworthy person, that you will not hurt them. Next, a safe environment is where they can be themselves. For avoidants to lower their defenses, they need to feel absolutely safe, to be themselves, without being judged, criticized, or imposed upon. Give them the feeling that they are accepted unconditionally, that you appreciate them for who they are, not for what they can bring. Sincerity and understanding are the fire that warms the hearts of avoidants. They are very sensitive to pretense and insincerity. They need to feel sincerity and understanding from the other person. Listen to them sincerely. Try to understand their fears and hurts. Show them that you are willing to be by their side, share difficulties, and overcome challenges with them. Sex, on this journey, acts as a bridge, not a wall. Sex can be a bridge that helps avoidants feel closer to the other person, However, it is important that sex does not become a wall that separates them from other aspects of the relationship. Create a comfortable sexual space where they feel safe to express themselves, explore desires, and experience pleasure without worrying about being hurt or bound. For avoidants to build a healthier relationship with sex, the key lies in helping them separate sex from past fears and hurts. This journey requires patience, understanding, and concrete steps. Step 1. Separate sex from the fear of hurt. Many avoidants unconsciously associate sex with feelings of loss of control or hurt. To change this, they need to realize that sex does not have to be accompanied by dependence or pressure. Sex can be a free experience where they can be themselves, explore desires without fear of being hurt. Step 2. Develop boundary-setting skills. Clear and healthy boundaries play an important role in creating a sense of safety for avoidants. When they know they can say no without being rejected or hurt, they will be more likely to open up. Setting boundaries also helps them maintain their own space, which is essential for feelings of freedom and comfort. Step 3. Experience safe and non-judgmental connection. Sex is not just a physical act, but also a space to connect emotionally. When avoidants can experience a relationship where they are listened to, respected, and not imposed upon, they will gradually change their view of intimacy. Safety and non-judgment are the foundation for them to build trust and open their hearts to the other person. Step 4. Realize that intimacy is not always scary. The biggest fear of avoidance is intimacy. They fear that closeness will lead to loss of freedom, hurt, or being controlled. However, the truth is that intimacy can also bring a sense of security, being loved and accepted. When they have time to experience safe relationships, avoidants will begin to understand that they can both keep their own space and enjoy real connection. When an avoidant can experience sex without feeling pressure or loss of control, they will gradually change their perception of intimacy. Sex, from an obsession, can become a positive experience, a bridge that helps them get closer to the other person and to themselves. And if you've watched this far, thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Hopefully the sharing above will help you or someone you care about better understand the avoidant trend in sex and relationships. If you find this article helpful, do not hesitate to share it so that more people can access and find empathy. The journey of healing and connecting always starts with understanding.